I genuinely expected KickVic to catch wind of my video, as well as their responses, which just prove the point I made in my last video, which Exile pointed out involving these two people. Not understanding the video I made or why I made it basically shows that you don't care what I have to say. You don't care what I think. And that's very sad. Like, are you not gonna pay actual attention to what my actual issues are? And if you want to know what my overall thoughts on the whole ISWV and KickVic war is, then keep up to date with the series, as I will tell you what it is right at the end of my last video, which actually got retweeted by Shiny and co-tweeted by ISWV Fails, which gave my vid a little bit more attention. But for right now, let's continue where I left off last time. Actually, I'd rather talk about this. Lady, calling me a wimp is just pathetic. That's the least offensive thing I've ever been called. And you can tell someone's a wimp by hearing their voice. That's a skill. Maybe for your next trick, you can learn about how to grow a brain, because from this, it doesn't seem or sound like you actually paid any attention to my video. You just heard, and you didn't listen. And okay, I'll admit this bit wasn't 100% good on my part. But you also missed the fact that I had said that I didn't agree with Shiny saying it in the first place. I still found it completely wrong, and there was no justification for it. Also, what the hell made you think I'm playing devil's advocate? I don't think any of these people actually watched and paid attention to what my issues were. Congrats, you're on this one. This was something that I got on my tweet linking my video, and I thought they were going to be sarcastic, and it turned out I was 100% wrong there. Sorry about that. And if I did have someone want to sponsor me, I'd legit be blown away. And gee, after the shit I got given of you doing, by which I mean this, you're lucky I don't hang you out to dry. You don't joke about that shit. I literally attempted it years ago, and still contemplate it. In fact, the first week of this new year, I kept waking up to thoughts of suicide. I've had those thoughts in the back of my mind for years, and to see someone do that just pisses me right off. Oh, and Shiny told me that he actually didn't dox Lady Tora, and Fang is still stunned this shit is still going on. And then this. I already said as much as I wanted to in the comments, so moving on. And I had this from Emmett, which we both sorted out, and he remade his comment. I didn't delete it. I got the notification that it had been sent, but when I clicked it, I got nothing. Again, he and I sorted it all out, and it turned out to be a misunderstanding. YouTube, fucking sort your system out. Well, that's that sorted out. Now to get onto the main topic. Monica Rial. And I can already hear her fans screaming at me going, "How dare you, you can't go after her, she's an angel." And to those people I say, piss off and quit bullshitting, because she ain't. And believe me, she's not where I'm stopping. Her fiance as well as her moderator are also going to get blasted. And I would do Jamie Markey, except she blocked me. Guess she saw my video. And she'll probably see this one too, so grab the popcorn. And I seriously need to start with BT. Someone I'm a bit more familiar with due to Robo Knight. And from what I had seen, truth be told, I thought it was fucking stupid. The only drama at the time I was involved in was with the Latvian idiot who wouldn't know what success looked like if it whacked him in the nuts with a slingshot. And every time I saw one of BT's tweets responding to Robo, it was basically him insulting Robo by calling him stupid shit like Robo Incel. But there was one thing that was way too far, which you don't fucking do unless you want to be extremely petty. Robo and his girlfriend broke up, and BT used that as a weapon against Robo. I even saw the screenshots. Let's be real here, doing that is such a dick move and is completely wrong and cruel, as well as makes you look like a total douchebag. And quite frankly, you are. And not just with that, you kept bringing up Exile's dead dad on multiple occasions while KickVic was harassing him. Even while you were blocked. That's the thing about you, BT, that I find gross and not even close to being okay. You will try to find vulnerabilities in people to exploit it and use it against them as a weapon. Hell, you exploited Queen Luna being rejected by Vic. Dude, seriously? Grow the fuck up. No, seriously, grow up. All this does with you doing all of this is make you out as a total sociopath and complete jerk. And hey, that's me being nice. There are people who will go all out on you. Speaking of, why the fuck did Monica make you her moderator? Who in the right mind makes an unhinged, abusive stalker represent them? That's like Chris Hansen having a lawyer with a very dodgy background work with him dealing with cases to help deliver justice. Oh yeah, Chris actually did do that. Completely stupid. It seriously doesn't make any sense. And it really doesn't make any sense for BT to act like Monica has done nothing wrong ever. He literally responds either having a pop at someone for lying about her, or he'll say how we're jealous of Monica because she's famous and we aren't. Mate, the only real thing I've seen Monica be in is Cardcaptor's Clear Card, because it's Cardcaptors, which I grew up with when I was younger, and I love the crap out of that anime. That's about it. Same with Vic, who was in Dragon Ball Z Kai, which I know because I love the theme song, despite not actually watching it. I don't know why, but I also find it stupid how you like acting like Monica is far more successful than Vic because her roles are more memorable when, and let's be real here, that isn't entirely the case. Not everyone is gonna believe that, and I can prove that with one name. Dan Green. You know, the guy who voiced Yugimoto and the Pharaoh Atem in Yu-Gi-Oh! And also voiced Mewtwo in the Pokemon movie Mewtwo Returns. Another name would be Eric Stewart, who voiced Seto Kaiba in Yu-Gi-Oh! As well as both Brock and James in Pokemon. And I already said the only thing I know Monica from is Cardcaptor's Clear Arc. So what you said here is basically false, even in regards to Vic Mignogna. We get it, she's your fave voice actor. But quit thinking she's not done anything wrong, mates, and stop being a thirsty simp. She ain't gonna fuck you in a million years, even if you two were the last human beings on Earth. Hell, the whole universe. Now to quickly touch up on Jamie Markey, a woman who is not only a voice actor, but has also sent fucking death threats. Like, what the fuck? Lady, you are aware that this makes you seem like a total fucking psychopath, right? This doesn't exactly paint you in a good light, and kinda makes me want to call the people in white jackets. And although this person has a point about you, this bit I'm gonna have to say is hit or miss, depending on what context they're using. If they're meaning you dead, then they're no better, to be honest. Though if they just mean off Twitter, then okay. I still think they could have made that tweet without saying that. Although, I might have missed a few Bible studies back in primary school, but wasn't Jesus a pacifist? He was a man of peace, not a man of kicking one in the teeth and hanging them up by their intestines. So what the hell makes you think Jesus would do that? And how would he? Unless he knocked Vic out, doused his bed with petrol with him on it, threw a lit match onto the bed and then roasted some s'mores because he was hungry. But he wouldn't, because he wasn't a violent person. And given what you said here, maybe we should change this from what would Jesus do to what would I do. And now for the main leading lady of this video, Monica Rial. A lady who accused Vic of sexual harassment, who even has a video of her talking about it.
I went to a convention called ISWV in 2007 that Vic and I were both guests there.
As well as other stories she made about this in regards to what happened. Now let me firstly explain that I am aware of the fact Monica was raped when she was 15, which she actually mentioned, and hearing the fact that happened to her just pissed me off. I feel really bad for her going through that, and I have expressed that I have friends who were raped. However, I must explain that when she talks about what happened involving Vic, I have issues. And the biggest issue is this sentence.
It was a very difficult moment. I was frightened, I was scared, I didn't know what to do. When I was 15, I had fought back, and that didn't end well for me, so I just kind of went along with it.
I went along with it. That's even the fucking thumbnail of the video. If Vic made you do something that you didn't want to do, you should have fought him off. I'm aware Monica went on to say that trying to fight back just makes the situation worse. And I'm also not going to defend Vic for that. But why the fuck did you not elbow him in the nuts, punch him in the face, maybe even shove your thumb in his eye as you knee him hard in the nuts, and then make a break for the door? Again, I understand her reason for not trying to fight back. Honestly, I do. Her not wanting to fight back out of fear of making the situation worse is something I truly understand. And I think anyone who has gone through that would understand. However, for what she has claimed happened involving Vic, I do have issues, which is that the story has changed a few times. First, she claimed this happened on the hotel's patio, to which then got changed to balcony, as they were two different things, and the hotel didn't have a patio. Nor did it have a balcony either, lady. And then it got changed to Vic throwing her on a bed, forcefully kissing her, only for the door to have made a noise which Vic got up to answer, which makes me wonder why he didn't just scream for help. And then got changed again to her being invited by Vic to his room to watch some videos, only for him to grab her onto a watching one and forcefully kiss her. As seriously as I do take this, making 3 different stories about the whole thing doesn't really help me believe your story. Sorry, it just doesn't. And I can already hear BT having a bitch about me, about Monica's story, and how I'm yada yada yada. Mate, tell it to someone who cares, will ya? Can we play this bit for a sec?
Sorry. And
It's okay.
I was raped when I was 15 years old. And so for me it was...
Look, honestly, I feel so heartbroken, hurt, and so fucking pissed off that happened to her. And again, I understand her not wanting to fight back, as it didn't go so well the last time. Seriously, if you think I don't get that, then you are clearly not listening or paying the fuck attention. But I seriously take issue with this bit.
When I was 15, I had fought back, and that didn't end well for me, so I just kind of went along with it.
While I do understand her not wanting to fight back, I don't understand her going along with it, as, and I'm gonna be completely honest, that kind of fucks up your claim of her being sexual harassment. Yes, she said she got raped, but if you remove that bit out and pretend she never once admitted that happened to her, this statement just makes the whole thing sound completely far-fetched. To me, it sounds less like sexual harassment and more of a one-time fling. But even with the added content of her past, there are still issues. The first issue is that she said it first happened on a patio, which she then changed to balcony since the hotel didn't have a patio, and it didn't have a balcony either, which also happened to be the first assault Vic did to her, and during the second assault that happened, her exact words were, "I went along with it." And this only causes more issues. If the first assault happened in a hotel on something the hotel doesn't even have in the first place with Vic, why the fuck did you not go to the cops? And the same thing during the second time. And her defense for that was because she didn't want to lose the friendship they both had. Lady, that has to be the dumbest thing I've heard as to why you never came out about this shit earlier. If Vic did do this to you and you didn't tell someone about it because he was your friend, then lady, that kinda comes off as you enabling him. If I was in your shoes, I'd have gone to the cops after the first assault. Fuck the friendship. Also, there are other reasons why other people don't buy Monica's story when she told it during this interview. For one, Monica kept looking away from the guy interviewing her as she was giving her story. Another is that it's kinda obvious she's trying to make herself cry for the emotional impact to really dig at people's heartstrings. And Monica, you kept pausing in sentences, making people believe you were making shit up on the spot. And as I watched the video, something stood out to me. Monica literally says Vic went outside his room and onto the patio.
We went to dinner. I don't recall where we went or what was spoken about because I think I was in shock the whole time. And when we came back, he went out there outside of his room. There was this little patio, and he was standing on the patio and he called Michelle.
Just a reminder, Monica said that it was a balcony as the hotel didn't have a patio when it didn't even have that. Yet she is here on camera saying that Vic was on the patio. Let me bring up another rape story that happened to someone I've brought up before. Rose Kalemba was kidnapped and raped when she was 14, with the whole thing filmed and put on Pornhub. Rose told her story to the BBC, and her story has been publicized in 41 different countries, and every time she tells the exact same thing. Her story doesn't change. Hell, even I brought up her story, which is actually one of my most highest viewed videos on my channel. And I even reached out to Rose about it, who thanked me for doing so. Her story is very well known. Even Tipster knew about it when I mentioned it to him after he had interviewed me during my idiocy involving zombie kills. Rose's story is extremely well known. Monica's, however, is not as well known, and is very hard to believe considering the holes in her story. I'm sorry, but as much as I really want to believe you, Monica, I'm afraid I sadly don't. There are things you said that just don't make any sense to me whatsoever. But out of everything that happened in regards to all this, there is a recurring question that continues popping up in my head. Why the fuck did you not go to the fucking police? I mean, that's the normal thing to do. Who gives a fuck if he was your friend and you didn't want to shatter that friendship? If what you claimed happened was true, then he 100% fucked it in that very moment. In that very moment in time, the friendship you both had was destroyed the moment he tried to force himself and have his way with you. Let's be real here. So if this had happened to you, why the fuck did you not go to the cops and file a police report? So many people have asked that. And how do you respond? By blocking them for asking a completely valid question. And Funimation's been doing the exact same thing when they get asked as well. Blocking people. Why? Nothing makes any sense from this. Anyone with an actual functioning working brain would take this shit to the cops and leave it in legal hands with hopes of a possible arrest. So why the fuck didn't you? Let me quickly bring up a well-known channel for a second. Rooster Teeth is a channel that makes the magnificent show Ruby, which both Vic and Monica were a part of. Monica sent an email to Rooster Teeth saying, "Fire Vic, ask no questions." First off, I had a reply going, "Actually no, I will ask questions, why the fuck must we fire him?" Monica doesn't run Rooster Teeth. She can't tell them what to do, but they can tell her what to do because she's working for them. But Rooster Teeth then made a very stupid skit practically endorsing rape. I'll be returning to this bit in a little bit. But for right now, let's get back to the skit. It was basically a whole skit about some stupid cult of women that were craving pregnancies. Fuck more guys unprotected than idiots. And there was a woman that wasn't pregnant. One of the women named Barbara said that they should get her pregnant and then said the following words, "By force, if necessary." Just let that sink in. They fired a dude who was accused of being a rapist by a lady whose story has more holes than a pair of my dad's socks, and then made a skit about rape literally the day afterwards. Wonder how that went down. Well, considering I tried looking for it in the YouTube search engine by looking up either Rooster Teeth rape skit or Rooster Teeth pregnant skit and couldn't find either of them, I have a feeling they got so much backlash from it that they took the video down. But that's not even where it ends. The vice president of Rooster Teeth was literally arrested for a little thing called domestic abuse involving his wife. The wife of the vice president of Rooster Teeth went to the police and told them that her husband had brutally assaulted her, as well as other things which you can see in these pics. She even said to the police that she was afraid her husband was going to kill not only her, but her daughter. Just reading this whole thing is enough to make my blood boil. Let's quickly go over something the police had reported. The deputies reported that she, the wife, had bruising, inflammation, and pain all over her body. And you know what she did? She went to the fucking cops! So why, in the name of fucking Christ, did you, Monica, not do the exact same fucking thing and fucking done that to you, you stupid fucking bitch! Like, am I the only person here who fails to see the fucking logic of Monica's actions here? Fuck. Okay. Let me just calm down for a second. First off, I'm sorry for calling Monica a bitch. Yes, that was uncalled for and was completely unnecessary. I'll admit and own up to that. I'm sorry. It's just so frustrating. I just failed to truly understand why Monica never went to the police about what Vic allegedly did. I just brought up a lady who went to the police for domestic violent abuse that had been going on for years. And there was even notable bruises and inflammation, as well as pain coursing through her body. So why didn't Monica do the same? And why doesn't both Monica and Funimation respond with a block whenever they get asked? You see, this is the major issue people have. Especially since it's extremely easy for women to claim they were raped. You read about it so often in news. And it's usually just a salty girl who got dumped by their boyfriend and wants to get back at him by completely destroying his life. It's so simple for girls to do that. Hell, I stand with Vic Fayos could completely claim that I raped her to completely destroy my life. Although the top issues are A, I live in New Zealand while she most likely lives in America, B, I have no fucking clue what she even looks like or where she lives, and C, I literally stated in my video, The Lost Stories, that I hadn't ever had sex before, and that still remains to be true to this day, which I highly doubt will ever change if I'm honest. It's literally so easy for girls to make that shit up. Even if they get proven wrong in court, it wouldn't matter, because the damage has already been done. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say Monica is doing very much that. But hearing and reading her story, there are a couple issues I have with it that make it very hard for me to wholeheartedly believe it. I don't dispute the fact Vic has done some things that are quite frankly fucked up involving fans. I mean, hugging fans is one thing and is quite mild, but turning it into something more without their consent is another. However, there are quite a few extra issues I have with Monica destroying Vic's life. And the major issue is that you've actually admitted you were jealous of Vic. You also got pissed off about the fact that you were both in an anime and his character was on the cover and yours wasn't. Which was wrong. The anime in question was called Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, which is an anime I'm only familiar with because a YouTuber made a video talking about card captors and brings up how the two main characters of this anime are exactly the same as the ones in card captors, which were Shaoran and Sakura. The reason why is because this anime is meant to take place in an alternate universe. And both these characters in this anime were voiced by both Vic and Monica. But Monica got completely pissed off that Vic's character was on the main cover, but hers wasn't. And her explanation for why hers should have been is because, and I quote, "Even though I'm the main character." He was too, numbskull. Also, if you took a look at the fucking cover of the anime, you'll see that you were on the cover with his. You were both on the cover. You were both the main characters. I've not even seen the anime, but I can easily tell that you not being on the cover even though you're the main character is utter crap, which is very easy to debunk just by googling it. And I need to talk about this. The infamous jelly bean incident. Monica wrote her name on a jelly bean, which she then threw at Vic, who caught it and ate it. And then said, "Now you can say I ate Monica." How the fuck that caused such a kerfuffle is mind-boggling to me. How the fuck is anyone oblivious to the fact that he was joking? And that if Monica hadn't have written her name on a jelly bean and thrown it at him, this stupid thing would never have happened in the first place. Seriously, this whole thing wasn't even that big of a deal. I mean, he was on a panel talking about Attack on Titan when the jelly bean got thrown at him, and he was just mucking about and playing. It's not a serious thing that needs to be blown out of proportion. It was just funny and him not being serious. But apparently this incident caused her PTSD. 6 years after the event. Like, talk about an overreaction. How the fuck does that traumatize anyone? If that was anyone else who wrote their name on a jelly bean and that happened, they would not have reacted like Monica. They'd have seen it as a joke and nothing more and even laughed. It would not cause PTSD. And speaking of, can you please explain the fact that there is a character you play that traumatizes you, resulting in you needing therapy sessions? Because this is the girl that she chose to play. And she needs 3-hour-long therapy sessions after every episode because this character traumatized her? How fucking stupid is that? That'd be like J.S. Gilbert requiring therapy for portraying Sweet Tooth or Robert Englund for being Freddy Krueger. And then there's the defense of Ron Toy, her fiance, who we should probably dub the wife beater. This is a man who literally threatened to kill not only a judge, but also his second ex's husband and 7-month-old daughter. And when he got questioned about it, he tried to justify it! How in the ever-living fuck do you attempt to justify that shit? And also, how the fuck do you even defend this dirtbag? The fact he has beaten both his ex-wives and he's not behind bars yet is so disturbing and fucked up. Yet, for some bizarre reason, Monica tries to defend him when he doesn't deserve defending. Hell, Nick Rakita made a fucking video on this shit. It went to fucking court. Why the hell is Monica defending this ass? People are actually speculating that the reason she's defending him is out of fear of ending up another one of his punching bag, which leaves 2 questions. The first being, why the hell did you go out with him then? And the second, and more important one, speech to him! Like, seriously, why? I'm gonna be completely real here and say that I do hope that Monica doesn't end up another one of his victims and that he does treat her correctly and they do live happily ever after. But at the same time, if what he did to his exes happens to Monica and she complains about it, all people are gonna say is either, we told you so, or don't say we didn't warn you. Also, speaking of Ron Toy, here are some of his tweets. And the reason they look like this is because they all had a video attached. Scrolling through his Twitter left me boned because I couldn't really find any proper tweets. He usually just seems to retweet stuff. But with these Twitter replies he does, he seems to always be using this fucking clip.
This is what I've learned. Just because 1,000 people want a hug doesn't mean everybody does. And I got really lazy. Over the years, I got really lazy. And I got used to being the same person all the time. And I was insensitive to the fact that there could be people out there that don't want that. And
in almost every fucking one. And if it's not that clip, it's this one.
somebody who wrote me one of them wrote me and said, I am so angry that I got doxxed and it's your followers and your fault. Excuse me, it's your fault that you put your name out there, number one.
I've only really seen him use this clip once.
And like I said, when you get affirmation from so many people, you start to believe it. Does that make sense? When 500 people walk up and tell you how much they love you and appreciate your work, you start to believe that crap. And then you start to assume, well, she liked me and they all liked me, so she probably likes me too. No, maybe not, right? Or she's different. She deserves the respect of having her own right, of having her own space and her own opinions, and she may be different, and that's where I've really messed up.
And nobody is saying there weren't any victims. But it also apparently seems clear KickVic knows Ron's a wife beater. Yet they defend him anyway because... I don't know. But it's clearly fucking stupid and idiotic and just makes my brain hurt. And this tweet... Are you sure about that? Again, you fucking threatened to kill a judge along with your second ex's husband and 7-month-old daughter, and you actually did try to justify it. Oh, when I saw him in stupid arguments involving Tanith, where it almost always had this fucking video. Every fucking time. The fact you have these 3 clips saved somewhere on your device is kinda interesting as to why do you have them. Also in regards to Don't Look Up, I watched it with my family and we all thought it wasn't that good. Truth be told, it was a bit dull. Which sucks considering it's Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence who is just... well, heaven incarnate. Seriously, her husband has to have won a lottery because he is one serious lucky bastard. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, KickVic. Look, I'm gonna be completely real here. I don't wish ill toward Monica in any sense. That's not how I operate. In fact, I honestly do wish her all the best with Ron Toy and do hope that he does treat her like a lady, otherwise I'm gonna have words. Because truth be told, she does deserve someone who will truly love her and give her the world. And just in case she does see this and have a puppet with me and my love life, A, I already made a fucking Twitter thread on my shit, and B, I'm not someone you go out with. Seriously, I've been telling myself this shit for years. I ain't a boyfriend. I'm the relationship equivalent to a bus stop. I'm very much aware of that crap, and I don't need a fucking reminder, thank you. But regardless, I still wish you all the best. Despite the fact that I can already predict that you'll block me, Ron Toy will block me, and Markey will unblock me, only to send me a private message saying the most outright disgusting shit like I deserve to go missing and end up in a body bag in pieces. Because apparently, you did that very thing to someone who just sneaked in Jelly Bean or Follow Vic. I was literally told what these few people did. Most of them just blocked the person. One, just because they wished Monica a happy birthday, which makes no fucking sense why that would warrant a block. But Markey said absolutely disgusting shit. told this person they deserve to go missing, and that the next thing their parents see is their decapitated, decaying head in a paper bag. And then deleted the very message, which was probably for the best on her part, as had that come out into the light, that would be some seriously damaging evidence against Markey. Especially since she's allegedly told this person they deserve to go missing, and even effectively took a jab at their family. That is not okay. And before Markey starts having a pop at me accusing me of something with no evidence, allow me to throw it back your way involving Vic. Especially when other people have made videos on this entire situation and even exposed Monica lying. And as for this part, Monica continued pausing while telling this story and looked like she was trying to make herself cry and appeared like she was trying to think of something which led to holes in her story. As well as that she refused to look at the guy. Whereas Vic was the opposite. He was calm and focused and didn't let his emotions get the better of him. Granted, here he nearly cried, but it was talking about him playing Broly.
It was a privilege. I was really proud to be a part of it.
Vic was being asked real, targeted questions, and he remained calm through the whole thing. I'll leave a link to this video for you guys to watch. Also, unresponsive.
I didn't address it one way or the other, and it died off.
I'll object as non-responsive. My question was not what you think the fans might believe, but if you agree that it would be...
You asked him a fucking question, and he gave you a legit answer that made tons of sense, moron.
I believe you asked me if they would, if I told them to stop, and I said no. And my answer to that is no, because they were fans, and I knew they didn't mean anything by it. Their intentions were nothing more than playful, and so I didn't address it, and it died off.
And if you really think I'm done here, oh no. Not even close. Because while KickVic not only defend DC Douglas and Ron Toy, they defend other twats who don't deserve defending. And I'm going to be covering them in my next video on this saga I'm going to. And I really hope you're all along for the ride. Because it's going to be oh so fun. This is a topic I always had an intention of talking about. And since getting received additional information about Monica and Funimation & Co., I have never been more invested. I'm looking forward to finishing this saga and following it up with my genuine thoughts on all parties as a whole. But until that fateful day comes, sit down, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the ride. Because it's only going to get better from here on out.